it or how the rain would pour.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Parsha Puppet Show. I'm your host Rabbi Wagshol, and this week we will learn about Parshas Lecha, the third Parsha in Parshas Bereshis, the first book of the Torah. And now, my co-host, Chaim the Puppet.
Hi Rabbi Wagshol, how you doing today?
Baruch Hashem, Chaim, how you doing? Hey Chaim, have you seen Rabbi Parsha?
No, I haven't seen it lately. I wonder what he's up to now. Uh-oh, he's got Mashiach fever again. Rabbi Parsha, what are you dancing about?
Rabbi Parsha, please calm down. Wow, Rabbi Parsha, you look very excited today. Why are you dancing and singing? What's going on?
Well, this is the very happy week. This is the dance party week.
The dance party week? Oh, Rabbi Parsha, you need to explain this to me. I didn't see anything when I learned the Parsha about dance parties.
Well, there was a great rabbi named Rabbi Shalom Dov Ber of Lubavitch, and he used to always say that the Parshas Bereshis starts off very happy because Hashem created the world.
Okay.
Oh yeah, but it ends off sad because the people were not behaving very well.
That's right, Chaim. Parshas Noach starts off sad with the destruction of the world, but ends up happy with the birth of Avram Avinu, our forefather.
Let me guess. So Parshas Lecha is a happy Parsha the whole week.
That's right. The whole week we read about the episodes and the adventures of Avram Avinu, Avram our forefather. So it's a very happy week. So let's have a dance party.
Okay, you happy puppets, I'm sure you're going to enjoy this puppet show this week, a happy Parsha puppet show about our great forefather Avram Avinu and how he became closer to Hashem this week in his old age.
What? In his old age? What are you talking about?
Yeah, Rabbi Wagshol, what are you talking about in his old age?
Well, actually, did you know that Avram Avinu first spoke to Hashem, according to the Medrash, at the age of 75 years old?
What? 75 years old? That's very old.
I thought that he learned about Hashem when he was 3 years old.
Well, actually, Rabbi Parsha, there are different midrashim that at 3 years old or other ages, Avram started to recognize his creator. That's true. But Hashem finally spoke to him at 75 years old.
Wow, so even if somebody is very old, it's never too old to start your career and come close to Hashem, right?
That's correct, Chaim. That is correct. So, without further ado, let's learn about the Parsha. Chaim, what on earth are you doing staring in the sky?
Hey, Rabbi Wagshol, please, don't distract me. I'm looking for a sign from Hashem.
You're looking for a sign from Hashem? Chaim, I don't see anything. I just see the clouds.
That's exactly the point. I'm looking for a cloud. That's a sign from Hashem, but where I should be going right now.
Wait, let me get this straight. Right now, you're not sure where to go. So you're looking for directions in the clouds.
Yes.
First of all, Chaim, I think you're supposed to be in school right now, right?
Well, I got lost on the way.
You got lost on the way? Yeah, right, you got lost on the way. And what makes you think that you're going to find the directions in the clouds?
Well, that's what we learned in the Parsha.
You learned in the Parsha about finding directions in the clouds? Oh, this I gotta hear.
Yeah, my Rebbe said that in this week's Parsha, Lech Lecha, Hashem tells Avram Avinu to go, to leave your land, your birthplace, your father's house, and go to the land that I will show you.
Oh, okay.
Well, how do you think Avram knew where to go? Hashem didn't tell him exactly the map and where to go, which country. It was a test to see if Avram would listen to Hashem and be ready to go anywhere.
That is very true. That was what one of Avram Avinu's 10 tests that Avram Avinu had. Avram Avinu had 10 tests that proved he was loyal and trusted in Hashem. Okay, go on. What does it have to do with looking for directions in the clouds?
Well, the Baal HaTurim said that the word Asher Areka, I will show you, Areka has the same gematria as the word Be'ananim, in the clouds.
Wow, Chaim, impressive. You really paid attention in class. You taught me something that I didn't know.
Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem. Anyway, I have to go back and look in the clouds.
Oh, okay, Chaim, I think you better go to school. I think your Rebbe's going to be a little bit upset at you if you're going to come so late and give an excuse that you were looking for the way with the clouds.
Okay, yeah, that wouldn't be a very good excuse. Okay, bye-bye, Rabbi Wagshel. See you later. So, Rabbi Wagshel, I just have one question.
Sure, Chaim, what's the question?
Well, you know, the Torah tells us 10 tests about Avram that Avram had, but the Torah doesn't tell us the most exciting tests that Avram had.
Really? What's the most exciting tests?
Well, my Rebbe said that when Avram was a young boy, the king Nimrod, the wicked king, told Avram that if he didn't bow down to his idols, or King Nimrod, that Avram would be thrown into fire.
That's correct, that's correct.
Well, my question is, why doesn't the Torah write about that? We only have to read it in the Midrashim, but it doesn't say it in the Psukim. I think the Torah should tell us such an exciting story.
That is a very, very good question. Yeah, it's a very exciting story. All the kids learn in Cheder, right? How Avram Avinu was a young boy and he looked up in the sky and he saw the sun and he said, ooh, maybe the sun created the world. But then the sun went down and then the moon came up. He said, oh, maybe the moon is more powerful than the sun.
That's right. But then the moon went away and Avram said it must be that there is a creator, a power that's making everything in the world work so well. And Avram realized that there's Hashem and he started teaching everybody. And when his father had his silly idol store, Avram Avinu smashed up the idols and told his father that the big idol smashed up the little idols. And his father said, what are you talking about? Idols can't smash anything. They can't even move.
That's right. And then Avram told his father, well, if you don't believe the idols can move, then why do you believe in them, that they have any power?
But Avram got in trouble because everyone told Nimrod that what Avram did, and Avram was brought and given the choice to go be thrown into fire or to bow to Nimrod and his idols. And Avram was thrown in the fire and a nace happened and he was saved. So shouldn't the Torah tell us this story?
That is a very, very good question, Chaim. Actually, I heard an answer to that. Would you like to hear it?
Yes, I would.
I heard a very interesting answer. The Lubavitcher Rebbe explains that Avram Avinu, at that time, it was before Hashem spoke to him.
Okay, so that's even greater. Avram Avinu did it by himself without Hashem speaking to him.
That's true. But the reason why Avram did what he did before Hashem spoke to him was because of his own understanding. He understood that there must be Hashem in the world, and this is the right thing to do.
Okay.
So this was not a true connection with Hashem. It was a connection with Hashem based on how smart he was. And if a person is going to connect to Hashem based on how smart he is, then his connection is going to be limited by how smart he is. One person will be smarter, one person will be less smarter, one person will have a stronger connection, one person will have a weaker connection because he doesn't understand Hashem so well.
Okay,
so when a Yid, when a Jew, and Avram Avinu listens to the words of Hashem and follows the words of Hashem, whether he understands them or does not understand them, like we see later on, Hashem tested Avram with some things that didn't make any sense to anybody, and Avram still did them. This is the way a Yid has to serve Hashem, by listening to Hashem even if it doesn't make sense to us. Therefore, the Torah doesn't record the earlier tests that Avram Avinu passed when it was just based on his own understanding of Hashem. Hashem wanted to see if Avram Avinu is going to follow Hashem even when it doesn't make any sense. Now, that actually gets you closer to Hashem, because Hashem's understanding is greater than any person in the whole wide world. And so even the smartest person and the simplest person, when it comes to Hashem, we're all equal.
Okay, so both the smartest person and the simplest person could both connect to Hashem on the same level just by following Hashem's mitzvahs.
Exactly.
Wow, it's so impressive that Avram Avinu just trusted Hashem and got up and went wherever Hashem said.
Oh yes, Chaim, it was very difficult to do, but I knew that Hashem would tell me to go to the right place for me.
Whoa, Avram Avinu, wow, it's wonderful to meet you.
Chaim, I'm so happy that you're studying Parshas Lecha, all about my adventures and trusting Hashem.
Avram Avinu, I have a question. How could you just leave your house and go?
Yes, it was very difficult. Hashem told me, Lech Lecha, go for yourself, go out of your land, your father's house, the place where you were born, to a place where I will show you. But Hashem didn't say where. But Hashem did say that it will be good for you. Go, Lecha, for yourself. So I knew it was going to be good. And Hashem promised me, I will make you into a great nation. I will bless you. I will make your name great. And you will be a blessing. People will bless their children and say, you should be like Avram Avinu.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yes, and Hashem also told me that I will have great wealth.
Wow, okay, so I guess it sounded like a pretty good deal.
Well, of course, Chaim, I would have followed Hashem, even if Hashem didn't promise me great things, because I only wanted to go with the true God and not the silly idols of the people of those days.
So, what happened when you came to the land of Canaan?
When I came to the land of Canaan, the Canaanim were conquering the land from the children of Shem, which my family came from. And Hashem told me that He's going to give me this land, and I got very excited. So I built a Mizbeach to thank Hashem for the good news.
Oh, very good.
And then I traveled further, and I came to a place called Beis Kel in the future, the house of Hashem, and it was near a place called Ai, and I built another Mizbeach.
Why?
Because in the future there was going to be an Aveira that was done by the Yidden. When the Yidden were conquering Eretz Yisrael, there was a man named Achan who stole some of the property of Yericho that the Yidden were not supposed to take, and the Yidden lost a battle in a place called Ai. So I built the Mizbeach to daven to Hashem for my children.
That's wonderful. Yeah, Avram Avinu, I actually learned all of these explanations in Rashi and Chumash, but I heard that you built 3 Mizbeachs, 3 altars to praise Hashem, one a bit later on, right?
Yes, that's true.
But Rashi doesn't say the reason why you built that one. Why does Rashi leave that one out?
Very good question, Chaim, very good question. Well, would you like to hear a good vart about that?
Yes, I would.
One good vart is that Avram Avinu built 3 Mizbeachs in honor of the 3 things that the Mizbeach and the Beis HaMikdash would do for the Yidden.
And what was that?
The first thing was to thank Hashem for feeding and blessing the world. And so I built the Beis Mizbeach to thank Hashem for giving me the news that He's going to give me the land. So that was the first reason for thanks.
Oh, and what was the second thing the Beis HaMikdash's Mizbeach did?
To forgive the Yidden for Aveiros.
Oh, so that's why you built the second Mizbeach, so that the Yidden would be forgiven for the sin of Achan.
That's right.
But what about the third thing?
The third thing is that Mizbeach brings the Yid closer to Hashem and serving Hashem.
Oh, so there's no reason. It's just to serve Hashem and thank Hashem.
That's right, Chaim. So Rashi didn't have to say the third reason because it's obvious that I did it just to be closer to Hashem. No reasons needed.
Wow, that's what we should all do mitzvahs without any special reason, just to come closer to Hashem.
That's right, Chaim. Chaim, what do you have over there in that box?
That box? Nothing.
Nothing? It's a very big box and it looks like it's shaking over there.
Okay, fine. It's my cousin Sarala.
Your cousin Sarala is in the box? Why are you putting your cousin Sarala in the box?
Hi, Rabbi Wagshal. I came out of the box.
What? Sarala, what on earth were you doing in the box?
We were playing Avram and Sarah coming to Mitzrayim.
Avram and Sarah coming to Mitzrayim? Could you explain this, please?
Yeah, the Medrash says that when Avram came down to Mitzrayim, the Pasuk says that Avram looked at Sarah and said, I realize now that you're a very beautiful woman, and we're going down to Mitzrayim, and it's a problem because the people in that land were not used to such beautiful people like Sarah, and they would right away, they were very bad people, and if they liked something, they would steal it, even if it was a person who was married, and they would kill people to get what they wanted. So Avram Avinu told Sarah, you just say that you're my sister, and if anyone asks, because if they find out that you're my husband, they're going to kill me and steal you anyway. So better just to say that you're my sister so they won't kill me, and Hashem will help, that the people will be nice to us for your sake, and give us a lot of presents, and we'll get a lot of money. Yeah, I never understood that.
Wait a second. So what's with the box?
Well, the Medrash says that Avram Avinu tried to trick the Mitzrayim by putting Sarah in a box, but then when they came to the border, the Mitzrayim said, hey, what's in that box? And Avram Avinu said, oh, nothing. They said, well, we need to open it up to pay the taxes. So Avram Avinu said, okay, I'll pay whatever taxes you want. And they got very suspicious. They said, well, maybe you have wheat in there. Avram Avinu said, I'll pay for wheat. And they said, no, maybe you have gold. Avram Avinu said, I'll pay for gold. And they said, no, maybe you have diamonds and precious stones. Avram Avinu said, okay, I'll pay you the taxes for diamonds and precious stones. Yeah, they got very suspicious, and they opened up the box, and out came, well, not Sarah, my cousin, but Sarai, the wife of Avram. Yeah, anyway, I never understood the story. Like, how could Avram, not say the emes and make himself, save himself, and put Sarai in danger that they're going to steal her?
Very good question, Sarala. Wow. Actually, very great rabbis asked this question. One of them, the Ramban, explains that this was actually a mistake, that Avram Avinu got punished because of this, that his children would have to go down to Mitzrayim, into Galus, into exile, and become slaves, that Avram Avinu should have stayed in Eretz Canaan and trusted Hashem to feed him, because when Avram Avinu came to the land of Canaan that Hashem showed him, there was a famine.
And what's a famine? It means there was no food.
There was no food. So Avram Avinu went down to Mitzrayim because he heard there was food there, and that's how they got in this situation.
Oh.
Well, of course, there's other opinions, like the Abarbanel, that says that actually Avram Avinu did nothing wrong by this. This was something that he needed to do, like the story of Avram Avinu and the Cheta Egel and the golden calf.
Oh yeah, I remember. The people were saying that Aaron had to make them a golden calf and golden idol. And Aaron said, okay, bring me your gold. What? How could Aaron tried to make an idol for them? Well, he knew that the people would kill him otherwise, so he was just trying to push them off. He had no other choice. Oh, so Avram Avinu knew the Egyptians would kill him, and it wouldn't help anything to try to fight them, so he had to make a trick.
That's right, Sarala and Chaim. That's what the Abarbanel says. Now the Zohar the Halakha Zohar gives a different answer and explains how could such a thing happen. Avram Avinu knew with his Ruach HaKodesh that Sarai was very, very Halik, and because of her, they would be helped by Hashem, and Hashem wanted to give them riches and blessings, and it would come through the blessing of Sarai, because a man is blessed by the merit, by the schos of his wife, and therefore Avram Avinu trusted in Hashem and not in his own greatness or strength to protect Sarai and bless them.
Oh, okay. That sounds a little better, I guess.
Yes. Well, actually we learn a very interesting lesson from the whole story.
What lesson do we learn the whole story? Hide your cousin or you're in a box? No, I don't think I want to go in the box. Maybe you have to go in the box now. No.
Actually, Avram and Sarai were related, you know that.
Yeah, I know.
Avram married the daughter of Haran, his brother. Avram had two other brothers, Nachar and Haran. And Haran, the Torah tells us, passed away. We discussed it last week, Parsha.
I remember, because Haran also was told to jump in the pit, in the fiery furnace, if he didn't want to bow to the idols. And Haran did not make it out. A miracle didn't happen for him.
That's right. So Nachar married one of Haran's daughters, Milcah, and Avram married Sarai, who was also called Yiska, and they took Lot, who was Haran's son, together with them. So they were technically related. They weren't making up a Baba Maisa.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, we learn a lesson, guys, that we're really supposed to trust Hashem and really try to find a way that Hashem is going to help us.
Wait, I don't understand. If you trust Hashem, then why do you have to go and start hiding in boxes and have to go and start making up stories?
Well, that's the thing, guys. If somebody really trusts Hashem, they don't sit back and wait for Hashem to come and give them something without any effort. They know that Hashem wants us to be part of helping ourselves. That's the way Hashem made the world, that we should actually work for the blessings that we get, and we trust Hashem that we'll succeed. Someone who doesn't trust Hashem, maybe they'll just be scared and do nothing. Someone who trusts Hashem a little bit, but not too much, will say, okay, there's nothing I can do about it. I'm just going to sit back and wait, and a miracle's going to happen for me.
Well, that's trusting Hashem, I guess, but if you really trusted Hashem, you would go and try to do something and trust that Hashem would help you.
Exactly. So Avram Avinu, it wasn't his fault that he went down to Mitzrayim. It wasn't a bad thing. Avram Avinu saw that if he's going to stay in Canaan, he would pass away like the people there. Avram Avinu said, well, if Hashem wants to help me, certainly Hashem doesn't want me to pass away, so what would Hashem want me to do now? So he went to Mitzrayim, and there Avram Avinu was not thinking about getting wealthy, even though it sounds pretty silly, right, that he was worried about getting presents from the Egyptians at that time. Right? Why was he doing that? He should have been focused on saving their lives.
Yeah, I never understood that.
Well, Avram Avinu was told by Hashem that I'm going to make you wealthy. So Avram Avinu was always looking to be a partner with Hashem to see how we could make that happen.
Wow, so we always have to be a partner with Hashem and go and try our best.
That's right.
So what happened next? Well, I know what happened next. The Egyptians took Sarai and they brought her to Parai, and they gave Parai Sarai, and Parai wanted to marry her, and they gave Avram lots of presents and all kinds of animals and sheep and servants, and Avram got very wealthy. But of course, Hashem did not let Parai marry Sarai. Oh yeah, I remember that story. Hashem came and Hashem... Oh yeah, I remember that story. Hashem made Parai get very, very sick with all kinds of diseases. And the Medrash says that Hashem even sent a malach to hit Parai, so if he tried to touch Sarai. Right? And Parai got very angry. He called Avram and said, Avram, why didn't you tell me this is your wife? Please leave the land. And he sent people to escort him from the land, and he gave him more gifts so that Avram and Sarai would not be angry at him. And Avram and Sarai, and of course Lot, their nephew who came with them, left very, very wealthy with a lot of animals and servants and money.
You know, guys, actually, I heard a beautiful vart that Avram and Sarai had actually made the road clear for the Yidden to go down to Mitzrayim in the future and leave with great wealth.
What?
Yes, everything that happened to Avram and Sarai later on happened to their children. They came down to Mitzrayim to get food because Avram and Sarai came down to Mitzrayim to get food. Avram and Sarai left with great wealth. The Yidden left with great wealth.
Wow.
And Sarai was there. She was very, very careful that the Egyptians will not be able to touch her. So too the Jewish women in Mitzrayim, they worked very, very hard that the Egyptians would not take them away from their husbands.
Wow, amazing.
Chani, what's going on over here? Why is your brother Chaim wearing that mask over his face?
Ah, you like it? Isn't it great?
Chani, what are you doing to Chaim?
I learned from the Parsha, and I put a nice muzzle on Chaim.
A muzzle on Chaim? Are you serious?
Yeah, he kept on eating all my snacks, for school, and I kept on telling him, Chaim, you have to control yourself. So I learned from the Parsha that when Avram Avinu wanted to control his sheep from eating other people's grass, he put on them muzzles.
Ay vey. Okay, Chani, can we let him out now?
Okay. Baruch Hashem. Oh my gosh, they were starting to get hot in there. Okay, Chani, fine, I won't eat your snack anymore. Wow, talk about hands-on learning about the Parsha.
Well, actually, that story is actually found in the Medrash that the sheep of Avram used to go with muzzles on their faces, and the sheep of Lot would not go with muzzles on their faces.
Right, and that's why the Torah says in this week's Parsha there was a big fight between the shepherds of Avram and the shepherds of Lot. Yeah, the shepherds of Avram said that the shepherds of Lot were stealing by letting their animals eat people's grass. And the shepherds of Lot said, Hashem promised Avram that this land is going to belong to him one day. So Avram has no children, and Lot is his closest relative, so Lot will get it, so we can eat the grass. Yeah, but that's really silly. That's like saying, walking into the store and going to take a toy off the shelf and leaving without paying, and saying, my mommy's going to buy me the toy for Hanukkah, so I could take it now. Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's a very good one. That's true. If Hashem didn't give it to him yet, then he had no right to take it. Just like you can't take the toy from the store if your mommy didn't buy it for you yet, even though she promised that she would buy it one day.
Yeah.
So do you guys also know what Lot and Avram did about this argument?
Avram said to Lot, such people like us, we're like brothers, we shouldn't fight, let's separate, that we have so many animals that the land is too small for us to sit together, our animals need plenty of place to eat grass. Yeah, Avram said to Lot, if you want to go left, then I'll go right, if you go right, I'll go left. And Lot chose to go to the city of Sodom, a very wicked place. We'll learn about it later, right?
It was a very, very wicked place, and Lot was not really making a good choice. He was not listening to his Yetzer Tov. He was going there for not the right reasons.
So why does the Torah have to tell us about Lot? Isn't this parsha about Avram and how great Avram is, not how Lot is going to Sodom?
Very good question, Chani. Actually, I heard a vart about that. Would you like to hear it?
Yes, please.
Avram Avinu was so great, and this is what the Torah is trying to tell us over here, a lesson that we could learn. Avram Avinu saw that Lot was not really behaving the way he was supposed to. Avram Avinu could have just said, okay, good riddance, bye-bye to my nephew who's not behaving. I'm going to go after Hashem and leave him to his silliness. But Avram Avinu did not give up trying to influence his nephew Lot. Even when he had to send Lot away, he said to Lot, don't worry, I'm not going to be too far away. If you go left, I'll go right. If you go right, I'll go left. We'll be close by. So Avram Avinu could influence Lot and help make him better.
Yeah, and actually, later on we see that it really worked. Lot started inviting guests even in Sodom when the Malachim came. And we'll read in next week's Parsha that Lot invited them for a meal. Oh wow, so Avram Avinu teaches us that we should never give up even on someone who is not behaving well and try to bring them closer to Hashem, and eventually it will work.
That's right.
So what happened after Lot left? Well, I read in the Chumash that Hashem started speaking to Avram again. What do you mean again?
Very good point, Chani. During the time that Lot was with Avram, Hashem did not speak to Avram because he was with someone who was behaving wickedly.
Oh, wow. What did Hashem say to Avram now?
Hashem told Avram that he is going to be given this whole land that he is now in, the land that is now called the land of Canaan. And Avram and Sarai pitched their tents in the place called the Eloine Mamre, the plains of Mamre, which is in Hebron. And Avram built another Mizbeach over there, a third Mizbeach to Hashem.
Oh wow, amazing.
Chaim, what are you doing over there at the gym? What are you doing?
I'm trying to train to go to war against the kings.
You're trying to train to go to war against the kings? Chaim, what are you talking about? Let me guess. Does this have something to do with the Parsha?
Yes, in the Parsha this week, we learned that Avram Avinu went to go fight a war with 4 powerful kings.
Oh, yeah. So let me guess. You are planning to be a very, very big, strong soldier and go and fight with Avram Avinu.
Well, I know it was a long time ago, but maybe there could be a war with kings, any day. After a Yid has to be ready,
Oh, Chaim, don't you understand? That war was not won by the strength of Avram Avinu.
No, it wasn't?
No, not at all. That war was won with a big miracle.
Really?
Yes. I think I know somebody that could come and tell you all about it.
Who?
Eliezer.
Eliezer? Who's Eliezer?
Eliezer was the servant of Avram, the special servant of Avram, who went with Avram to that war and went with Avram everywhere.
Wow, who was he?
Well, there is an opinion that Eliezer was actually the son of the wicked king Nimrod, who followed Avram because he realized that Avram Avinu was telling the truth about Hashem and Nimrod was just misleading people.
Wow, that's amazing.
Hello, Chaim.
Wow, are you Eliezer?
Oh, yes. I'm a puppet, but in this show, I'll be Eliezer.
Oh, Eliezer, so wonderful to meet you. Let me shake your hand. Oh, wow, what a strong grip.
You thought an old man like me would be a weakling, huh?
Yeah, wow, how are you so strong?
Well, our rabbis tell us that I was actually as strong as 318 men.
318 men? What?
Yes, you see, when there was a big war in those days, there was these kings of Sodom, 5 kings of the 5 cities of Sodom. And there was a king named Amraphel. In the days of Amraphel, actually, some say that Amraphel is really Nimrod, because Amar Poil, he said, his name means that he said to fall. He said to throw Avram, that Avram should fall in the fiery furnace.
Ah, very interesting. Thank you, Eliezer.
So, anyway, in the days of Amraphel, there was this king Kedar Laomer, and Kedar Laomer used to get money from all the kings. If they didn't pay him, he would come fight with them, and the kings of Sodom would pay him for 12 years. But finally, they decided to rebel, and they're not going to pay him. And for 13 years, they did whatever they wanted, and the 14th year, Kedar Laomer got all of his buddies and another 3 kings, and they came 4 kings versus the 5 kings. Well, for sure that the 5 kings won the 4 kings. Nope, the 4 kings, even though they were less kings, they were stronger, and they beat the 5 kings, and the 5 kings started running, and they were running through a place called Emek Hasidim, which had a lot of pits for making clay mines.
Oh, did they fall in?
Yep, they fall in, and everybody thought that the king of Sodom had died in the pits, and some people actually went to the mountains. Later on, a big miracle happened, and the king of Sodom came out alive, and people said, wow, if Hashem could make a miracle for the king of Sodom, for sure, it's true the story that they say about Avram, that he fell in the fiery furnace of Nimrod, and he came out alive.
Oh, wow.
But Avram Avinu found out about it.
How did Avram find out?
Well, there was a refugee, someone who escaped the war, ran and told Avram.
Oh, my Rebbe said that was the famous Og, the king of Bashan, when he was younger.
Yes, that is right. The Medrash does say that it was Og, Melech HaBashan, the king of Bashan, the giant. Actually, there's a Medrash that said he had a plan. He thought Avram for sure will go rescue Lot, and Avram will be killed by the powerful kings, and he would go and steal Sarai as his wife.
What a mean guy.
Yes, well, his plan didn't work, because Avram Avinu might have been weaker than those kings, but Hashem was on his side, and I came with him. And Avram Avinu was at that time living next to his friends who made a treaty with him, Enor, Eshkol, and Mamre, and they came to watch his weapons, and he had 318 trained fighters, and me, of course, which our rabbis say I was as strong as 318 men.
Wow, can I feel your muscles?
Sure.
Whoa, amazing.
And we went and we split up against them, and we had chased them at night all the way into a place called Dan, and we went all the way near where a place is called Damascus these days, and we captured back the captives of Sodom and all of the property, and we brought it back, and the king of Sodom came out, and he was so happy to see us.
Well, what happened next?
Well, Avram Avinu was greeted by Malki Tzedek, Melech Shalem, the king of Shalem, who actually, according to the Medrash, was really Shem, the son of Noach. But I'll tell you about that later. Bye-bye, Chaim.
Bye-bye, Eliezer.
Rabbi Parsha, what are you doing with all those shoelaces?
Oh, I'm giving away all my shoelaces.
You're giving away your shoelaces? Well, besides the fact that you're a puppet and you don't really have shoes, but why would you give away your shoelaces?
Well, it says in the Parsha that Avram Avinu was not even going to take any shoelaces, so I don't want these shoelaces either.
Oh, Rabbi Parsha, you can't be serious, right?
Yeah, I'm very serious. It says it in the Parsha.
Yeah, but you have to tell the kids what that's all about.
Okay. I'm not sure. What is it about?
Okay, I'll explain it. You see, when Avram Avinu came back from the war with the kings of the 4 kings, and the king of Sodom came out, and he was so excited and to see Avram. And Malki Tzedek, the king of Shalem, who some say was Shem, the son of Noach, came out and brought Avram bread and wine, and he blessed Avram, and he said, Hashem, the God of heaven and earth, should bless Avram. And Avram gave Malki Tzedek 10% of all the things that he got in the war.
Okay.
And then the king of Sodom came and said, Avram, you take all of the property that you got, and just give me back my people.
And that's right. And Avram raised his hand and he said, I swear to Hashem that I will not take anything, even a even a shoelace from you. So you should not say I made Avram rich, so I don't even want a shoelace.
Avram didn't want to take a shoelace from the king of Sodom's property. Doesn't mean Avram didn't have shoelaces.
Oh, okay, so I can wear shoelaces again? It was getting very difficult to walk around, without shoelaces.
Yeah, well, with your puppet feet, which you don't have any feet, I don't think you need shoelaces anyway. Of course, Rabbi Parsha, Avram Avinu did take some portion of the spoils of the things that were captured in the war.
He did? Just not shoelaces, right?
No, he took some of the things and he gave a portion to his helpers, his men that fought with him, and Ener, Eshkol, and Mamre, his friends, that they worked hard guarding Avram's things, Avram's weapons. So they have to also get a reward. Just because Avram Avinu is a tzaddik and he doesn't want to take any reward because he's going to rely on Hashem, doesn't mean the people who helped Avram should lose out.
Ah, I see. That's very fair.
3001, 3002, 3003.
Chani, what on earth are you doing?
Actually, I'm trying to count the stars. Please don't interrupt me. I don't want to lose count. 3010, 3011.
Oy, Chani, you're going to be here forever. You can't count all the stars in the sky.
No?
Didn't you learn the Parsha this week?
What? Oh, yeah, that's why I was trying. Hashem took Avram outside of his tent and said, can you count the stars?
Well, that's the point. The point is Hashem was telling Avram Avinu that you cannot count the stars.
Why?
Because Avram Avinu was worried that his reward would have, any reward that he had for the mitzvahs that he did would now have been used up because of the great miracles Hashem did for him with this war with those 4 kings. And Hashem said, Avram, don't worry, your reward is going to be very, very great. But Avram Avinu said, Hashem, what reward could you give me? I don't have any children. My helper Eliezer is going to inherit me.
Oh, yeah. And Hashem told Avram, don't worry, you're going to have children. And he took him outside and he said, count the stars. If a person could count all the stars, that's how many children you were going to have.
That's right. And there's even a medrash that says that Hashem lifted up Avram higher than the stars and showed him that I am Hashem. I could take you higher than the stars.
What is that supposed to mean?
Well, in those days, people used to believe that the stars had powers to predict the future. And they would make all kinds of calculations with the stars. And they would say, oh, I see in the stars that this is going to happen or that's going to happen. And Avram Avinu, according to the Medrash, told Hashem that according to the stars, Avram and Sarai are not going to have any children.
But Hashem told him, don't worry, I'm Hashem. I'm higher than your star calculations. I'm the one who makes the future. I could change your name, and you're going to be Avraham with a hey, and Sarai is going to become Sarah with a hey, and you will have children.
That's right, Chani.
Okay, Chani, hold the cow steady. I'm trying, Chaim, I'm trying.
Chaim and Chani, what are you doing?
We're just acting out the Pasha.
Is that a real cow?
No, if I was a real cow, I would run far away from these crazy kids.
Put that cow down and that knife down. What are you trying to do here?
Okay. We were just trying to do what it says in the Parsha, that Avram Avinu told Hashem that how will I know that my children will get the land of Israel like Hashem promised me? Yeah, so Hashem told Avram to gather a whole bunch of animals, 3 heifers, 3 cows, 3 goats, 3 rams, a turtle dove, and a young pigeon. And Avram should cut all of those animals besides the birds in half.
In half? Why?
Well, because in those days, people, if they made a promise, they would take the animal and cut them in half and walk through the halves to show like we're two halves of a whole.
Oh, very interesting.
Yeah, and those animals represented all the different nations of the world that Hashem is going to split them and divide them. But the birds, which represented the Yidden, are not going to be cut, that in the end of all the history, the Yidden will remain whole and the non-Jewish nations will not succeed in destroying us.
Wow, that is amazing. And then, do you guys know what happened next?
What happened next?
Vultures, birds that like to eat meat that dies in the wilderness, started to fly down, and Avram Avinu said, shoo, shoo, and he chased them away. That reminds us that even though the Yidden will have in times nations that come to try to destroy us, Avram Avinu will be, with the merit of Avram Avinu and the help of Hashem, will chase them away.
Oh wow, amazing.
And then as the sun was about to set, a deep sleep fell over Avram. Shh. You're acting it out, Chaim. Shh. Wake up, Chaim, wake up. And he saw a deep, frightening darkness, and he became very scared because Hashem was showing him a vision of the gullus, of the exile that would happen to the Jewish people, all the troubles that would happen to them. And Hashem told him, you should know that your children will be slaves in a strange land for 400 years. And after that, I will redeem them and take them out of Egypt with great wealth.
Oh, wow.
And guess what? After that, Avram saw a pillar of smoke and fire walking through, just like Avram walked through the parts of the animals, passed down the road. Hashem sent a pillar of cloud and fire to show that that Hashem is also walking through with Avram to be part of this promise.
Wow, amazing.
Chani, what are you doing trying to look in that well over there?
I'm trying to hear angels like Hagar.
You're trying to hear angels like Hagar? What? What's going on?
Well, let me bring Sarai and she'll tell you the story. Hello, Sarai. How are you? I was wondering... Oh, hi, Chani. Thank you for having me on the Parsha Puppet Show. Usually only Avram Avinu gets to be on. I'm so excited I get to come on the Parsha Puppet Show and teach the kids about the Torah this week. So, Sarah Imenu, please tell us what happened with Hagar. Well, I had a servant named Hagar. According to the Medrash, she was really Parai's daughter, and she decided to come with us because her father was wicked, and she would rather be in the house of Avram than in the house of that wicked Parai. And after she saw the miracles that happened with me in her father's house, she came and was my servant. And I decided that I wasn't having children. I was already 90 years old, and let me give my servant to Avram. Maybe she will have a child, and Avram could at least have a child, even if I couldn't. Oh wow, that was very generous of you. Yes, it was. But then, when Hagar became pregnant right away, she started to disrespect me and make fun of me and say, ha, you're not such a big tzaddik. Yes, I got pregnant right away. Oy vey, that's terrible. And so I started to be very strict with her and make her work very, very hard. And she got very upset and ran away. And she ran to the desert. And there she was by a well. And a malach and an angel said, Hagar, where are you going? And she told the malachim. And the malachim said, go back. You are going to have a child, and you're going to name the child Yishmael. Hashem has heard. Hashem has heard your prayers, and Hashem is going to give you a child. He's going to be a wild man. More about that next week. And he's going to fight against everyone, and everyone's going to fight against him. And I wouldn't like to have a son like that, but that's what Hagar got. And so she came back, and even though I was tough on her, she still continued to work, and she had a son, and Avram Avinu, with his Ruach HaKodesh, with his prophecy from Hashem, named the son Yishmael, like Hashem said. Oh, amazing!
That's right. And Hashem said that just like my name is going to be changed with a hey to Avraham, so to Sarah's name will be changed with a hey to Sarah. And we will have a baby, and we should give the baby a bris milah at 8 days old. And I should have a bris milah now, even though I'm 99 years old. And everyone in my house who belongs to me, any servants, should have a bris milah. And even my son Yishmael, who was 13, will have a bris milah. And in the future, if someone does not have a bris milah, they will be cut off from the Jewish people, because having a bris milah is Hashem's promise, Hashem's connection with us. Wow, Avram Avinu, that is amazing. At 99 years old, you went and you had a bris milah. Yes, that is correct. That was the mitzvah of Hashem, and I was ready to do it. Wow, so that was another test of Hashem. Yes, test number 8. I circumcised myself. I had a bris milah at 99 years old. And that is how Parshas Lecha ends off. So long, everybody. See you next week for Parshas Vayera. Wow, Avram Avinu, thank you so much.
Chaim, it's almost Shabbos. What are you going to say by the Shabbos table?
Well, I'm going to say a vart that it's very important to trust in Hashem, even if you don't understand, just like Avram Avinu.
Wow, that's a very good vart, Chaim. Thank you very much. Good Shabbos.
Good Shabbos.
Oh, it's time to say good Shabbos, 'cause all your work is done. I'm gonna spend a day